When learning neonatal resuscitation, there are the essentials and advanced, but here we're going beyond advanced. Have you ever thought about what makes for a good team in the delivery room? What about the right mix of people and roles? We have studied this question and can give a few points for you to consider. Let's start by admitting that the level of team performance does not always equal the outcome. The team can perform flawlessly, doing every step of neonatal resuscitation correctly, and yet the baby still doesn't make it. Similarly, the degree of teamwork doesn't always match the team performance. One team might work together pretty poorly, but that one person on the team seems to get everything done and the team performance isn't so bad. Another team works well together, but they all decide to do the wrong thing, and performance is not so good. But on the whole, better teamwork is going to lead to better performance, and better performance should tip the balance towards better outcome. Let me recommend just one book to you, Teams That Work by Scott Tannenbaum and Eduardo Salas. I'll incorporate some of their ideas in this video, along with other published data and my own experience. Starting out, I would have guessed that team size had a lot to do with team performance. After all, NRP gives specific numbers of people to be at deliveries. There's even a pretty good video on it. 1, 2, 4 or more. Not bad. Next, we have conducted 2 randomized trials looking at neonatal resuscitation team performance with different sized teams and different support roles. The first trial was a lower acuity scenario comparing teams with 2 versus 3 people. The second trial was a higher acuity scenario comparing teams of 4 versus 5 people. We had multiple measures of performance, but here's the bottom line. 2 versus 3, 4 versus 5, no difference. Team size made no difference in performance. The key is you have to have enough, but after that, adding more people doesn't add any benefit. What do I mean by enough? You have to have enough people with the skills necessary to perform the task required. Think of this. Have you ever been to a code in the NICU where there feels like you have 10,000 people there and still not enough? That's not a number of people problem. That's a role clarity issue. One key role that every team needs is the team leader. Let me ask a question. Is it team lead, MD? Does the team lead have to be the physician? I usually find myself asking this question to a team in a training session when a very confident senior nurse with decades of neonatal resuscitation experience tells the brand new intern that they have to be the team lead. What does NRP say about who can be team lead? You need a mastery knowledge of the NRP algorithm and you need effective leadership skills. Team leader is not necessarily the most senior member on the team, nor are they the one with the most advanced degree. I'll squeeze in one more qualification. You have to be willing. You have to raise your hand and say, I'll do it. I'll be team lead. When we did a second look at our 2 randomized trials and compared team performance by whether the team leader was an attending neonatologist, a neonatology fellow, or a neonatal nurse practitioner, we didn't find any difference in either trial separately or combined. It's not your title that determines your leadership ability. So what are those leadership skills you need to be a good leader? We can make a pretty good list of team leader skills using these published works. Team leaders should clearly identify themselves. Remember to say, I'll be team lead. Anticipate and plan. Huddle up your team before delivery and share that plan. Delegate workload. Allocate your attention wisely. Notice what others are doing. Engage team members in decision making. A great way to do this is to share your mental model of what is happening and then ask for help from others on the team or for more help from outside the team. This list isn't exhaustive, nor is it exclusive to team lead. All members on the team should help with these too. If you were drawing up a play for a basketball team, you would be very intentional about drawing up the positions of each player, and you would clearly tell them the task you expected of them. You could judge the team performance by how well it adhered to the game plan. It shouldn't be any different in the delivery room. Each person should be assigned a specific position and a list of tasks that they perform. Think about where the team member stands in relation to the equipment they need to perform the tasks assigned to them. For instance, the person responsible for titrating oxygen should be near the dial so they don't have to reach across the warmer. You should also think about your team as divided into those that are in the inner circle, that are hands-on the baby, and those outside the circle that are support roles and generally hands-off. After all, the size of the baby limits 3, maybe 4 people to be hands-on at any one time. Now you can go the next step and describe additional roles that you may not need every time, but when extra people do show up, you know exactly what roles to assign them. You can choreograph who moves where and who does what in different circumstances. This is building a standardized resuscitation scheme and giving role clarity to your team members. Now let's talk about this role here a little more. The recorder role is used by many to document the actions the team takes during a resuscitation. But what if you ask that role to do more than just document actions? We asked that role to be a time coach. The time coach prompted the team at the correct time when the next action was due on the resuscitation algorithm, like, it's been 1 minute since chest compression started, time to check a heart rate. Our study of this recorder time coach showed several improvements in team performance. With a recorder time coach, teams adhered more closely to the correct timing in the NRP algorithm with less time errors, and they gave epinephrine over 1 minute earlier. The idea of a coach on a resuscitation team isn't novel to our research. Both the CPR coach for chest compressions and a ventilation coach for assisted ventilation have demonstrated the ability to improve quality performance. These hands-off coaching roles are a form of monitoring. Monitoring improves team performance because a watching team member notices what is happening and comprehends how it will affect performance. The team member responds by speaking up to get performance back on track or backing up the person they see struggling. Every team member should monitor the actions others are performing. Yes, the team lead is monitoring team performance to maintain situational awareness, but they have a pretty tough job already. Coaches move specific monitoring to a hands-off individual, and they allocate their attention wisely to that single task. Let's keep it real for a few seconds, though. Here's what a coach can't do. Say I plan to take on LeBron James one-on-one. Hold on, that's more realistic. Now, before you decide who's going to win, I get the greatest coach of all time helping me. Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, John Wooden. Heck, I get all three helping me, and LeBron gets no one, no coaching help. Now who's going to win? Well, LeBron is still going to wipe the floor with me. Why? Because you can't coach height. You can't make up for a lack of talent with coaching, good leadership, or clear roles. Now you need to go and practice using simulation. Try out those roles and practice leadership skills. But there's one more ingredient you need to look for. It's the attitudes and beliefs that team members have about their team. It's that inner drive in each of the team members that wants the team to succeed. There are 4 specific attitudes you can look for on your team. A lack or a decline in these attitudes will almost certainly lead to a decline in team performance. Trust is believing other team members will do the right thing and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Psychological safety is feeling able to freely and openly share your perspective. It is the degree to which you believe others will give you the benefit of the doubt. Collective efficacy is the team's belief that they can win, they can do it. And cohesion is the dedication the team has to the team and tasks. Just a moment more on psychological safety. Team members have to feel like they can speak up to help the team perform better. 2 of the top predictors for a team having psychological safety are leadership behaviors and role clarity. The first 2 things I emphasized in this video. This kind of team culture is hard to gain, but easy to lose, and something that needs continuous attention. One tool to help build your team culture is debriefs. In-person or virtual, cold or hot debriefs, however you can get started, you need to do it. And you need to do it frequently enough that it covers good and not so good performances. Highly dynamic teams like neonatal resuscitation teams can improve performance by 40% when they debrief events. You can start by using a simple tool called the plus-delta model. Plus stands for asking what went well, and the delta is asking what can we improve. If you want to drill down further, ask follow-up questions like, what did you notice, and what circumstances led to that event? Then ask the team, what can we do to facilitate that positive event so it happens again? Or how can we prevent that negative event from occurring in the future? What makes for great teamwork? Remember these 3. 1. Every team needs a team leader. To be team lead, you have to raise your hand and say, I'll be team lead. And you can do that because it's not team lead, MD, it's team lead, you. 2. Define your roles. Diagram your plays. Consider your hands-on roles and hands-off roles. What tasks are important enough to assign to a coach? Each team is different, and your game plan will probably be different from mine. 3. Check your team's attitude. Are they exhibiting trust, psychological safety, collective efficacy, and cohesion? Build these attitudes and improve performance by debriefing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and share below, and follow me here on YouTube or on Twitter. Leave a comment below if you have another idea for a topic I can cover that goes beyond advanced in neonatal resuscitation.